Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, March the 21st. A very chilly morning here in the mid-Atlantic region. Temperatures way down into the 20s, well below normal for this time of the year. Remains cold right into the upcoming weekend, but then it looks like a rainstorm coming to the I-95 corridor region late Friday night into the day on Saturday. Looks like it'll be warm enough for a rain event. DC, Philadelphia, New York City. You have to go all the way up into interior New York State, certainly interior New England, to receive the accumulating snow this weekend. It looks like places like Maine, maybe upstate Vermont, New Hampshire could get several inches of snow out of this system over the upcoming weekend. I wanted to first start off with an update on El Nino. We've talked about the likely collapse of El Nino. Posted an article about that several weeks ago. Indeed, it's starting to look like that's underway now, and this is the latest look at the sea surface temperature anomaly maps here. And this is the equator right along this line right here. This is the 0 degree latitude line. Now let me clear the deck for that and start pointing out what's going on right now. Just off the west coast of South America. Notice this colder than normal patch of water here. This is what we call the 1+2 region of El Nino, tropical part of the Pacific Ocean. Meteorologists kind of subdivide the tropical part of the Pacific Ocean into different regions just because maybe a better way to analyze what's going on with respect to localized sea surface temperature anomalies. You can see still hanging on right now across much of the rest of the equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean that is warmer than normal conditions associated with El Nino, but it's starting to change right here on just off the west coast of South America. And this will kind of visibly look like it's spreading to the west over the next several weeks. Now take a look at what actually has taken place just over the past couple of weeks. This is that 1+2 region here in the tropical part of the Pacific Ocean, the far eastern section just off the west coast of South America, where we just saw that colder than normal blob of water. Look at the temperature drop right here just in the last couple of weeks. This is March 21st, March 7th. They're just the last couple of weeks. So this changes are certainly happening quickly, at least in that part of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. A big drop in temperatures here just over the last couple of weeks. Now this particular plot is very interesting. It's a forecast map by one of NOAA's climate forecast systems model. This looks ahead towards the middle of the year and then well into the end of the year with respect to the sea surface temperature anomalies in that central part of the Pacific Ocean. Here we're looking at what we call section 3.4 out in the middle part of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. La Nina, anything above this neutral line right here is considered La Nina, and it actually rises all the way up to about +2 degrees here, and we're talking about in the it rose to +2 degrees in the fall, the November, December, January time period here, and this is the prediction. Anything after this is the forecast, and it drops rapidly in that central part of the Pacific Ocean all the way down to about -2 degrees here by October, November, December of this year. Notice right here, -2 degrees from +2 degrees. This is a dramatic drop off here. In fact, a fellow Penn State meteorologist, Joe Bastardi, has mentioned that this kind of a drop is one of the biggest drops in a short period of time ever seen, from +2 here latter part of 2023 all the way to down here by the latter part of 2024. Indeed, this particular forecast map has it not only switching from an El Nino to a La Nina, but a relatively strong El Nino to a relatively strong La Nina. By the time we get to the latter part of this year, according to this forecast, we're way down here at around -2 degrees in that all-important central part of the Pacific Ocean. Something interesting to monitor over the next several months. Now, in addition to this, there are some forecast maps on a worldwide basis that are quite interesting indeed. Not only do they have the sea surface temperatures dropping off to below normal levels in the tropical Pacific Ocean, but elsewhere as well, surrounding Australia, much of the southern part, the southern hemisphere. So we'll see if all that comes to fruition. But again, El Nino's starting to collapse here, and it looks like it'll be rather dramatic over the next several months. Well, let's get back to the continental U.S., and this is a forecast map of total snowfall amounts over the next 5 days between this morning, Thursday morning, and next Tuesday morning. Few areas really jump out at you. First of all, the northern plains, significant snow, places like central Minnesota, up to 2 feet of snow, eastern part of South Dakota, maybe up to 2 feet of snow over the next 5 days. This area had a relatively warm, dry, and winter with far below normal snowfall. So a lot of that will be taken care of here over the next 5 days or so. Again, a big snowstorm coming to much of the northern plains. Also, Maine, upper part of Vermont, New Hampshire, gets significant snow here over the next 5 days. Much of this is in this weekend event coming Saturday into Sunday for the interior sections of northern New England. Finally, we have our old friend here, the Sierra Nevada mountains. Looks like significant snow there over the next 5 days or so. That continues a very snowy winter, which follows a very snowy winter of last year. Well, I mentioned much below normal temperatures here in the Mid-Atlantic region as we begin the day here on Thursday, and that's the case all the way throughout the northeast U.S., the Great Lakes, and all the way up into much of Canada. Now, we'll progress forward here, and we'll see it tends to ease in temperatures by the time we get to the upcoming weekend, and that's that soaking rain event coming to the I-95 corridor region of D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and points to the east, to coastal New Jersey, to coastal Delmarva Peninsula. Too warm for any kind of snow down in the I-95 corridor region of the Mid-Atlantic region. Gets back to normal or even above normal by the early part of the weekend, at least at the 850 millibar level. Then we move forward here, and we have still an expansive area of colder than normal by the time we get to the second half of the upcoming weekend across the northern tier of the U.S. and throughout Canada as well. Also below normal across the southwestern U.S. Now, we'll move forward here, and we've talked about the possibility of some severe weather early to middle part of next week. And here is the clash zone area with colder air to the north and west, warmer air to the east as of Monday evening. This is a kind of a timetable to worry about the possibility of some severe weather right in this region right here. Let's say the Mississippi Valley region as an example. Again, looking at Monday night time frame, that's still several days away, but this will become a battle zone, and the temperature is part of the contributing factors. And we'll see in a moment here, a lot of vorticity, a lot of spin in the atmosphere aloft will also be a contributing factor to the possibility of severe weather outbreak early to middle part of next week. Now, let's move forward here. Warmer than normal conditions push into the northeastern states by the middle of next week. We'll go all the way out to Easter weekend, which is not this weekend, but the following weekend. We can see colder than normal air may very well push into much of the eastern half of the nation by the time we get to Sunday, March 31st, which happens to be Easter Day. Still many, many days away, but right now this particular model run of the 0Z GFS is depicting a widespread colder than normal air mass in the eastern half of the nation by the time we get to the latter part of next weekend. Well, let's walk through the forecast maps of the vorticity. These are kind of jet streaks in the upper part of the atmosphere, rotation in the upper part of the atmosphere that lead to upward motion down the lower parts of the atmosphere. Beginning the day on Thursday, this is that same system that contributed to some snowfall in places like Denver late last week. Very slow moving upper level system here, and that finally kicks out, and we see it moving along the Gulf region here by later tomorrow, and that helps to spawn intensifying low pressure that will ride up to the north and east and produce that soaking rain event for much of the Mid-Atlantic region late tomorrow night into the day on Saturday. Here it is, that wave of energy aloft. Again, surface low pressure we'll see in a moment just off the Mid-Atlantic coastline. Then we get into the latter part of the weekend, early part of next weekend, kind of a broad area of upper level vorticity here by early next week. This is Monday time frame, and notice right in this region right here, kind of a broad flow of southwesterly air. There will be warm and humid air riding to the north from the Gulf of Mexico. At the same time, colder air is pushing from northwest to southeast across the Rocky Mountain states, and this indeed could be a kind of a clash zone, a battle zone area, the Mississippi Valley, around Monday night. This is the late Monday forecast map. Go out a little farther in time, and it could be a severe weather outbreak right in this part of the nation early to middle part of next week. Well, let's wrap up with the surface maps, and there's indeed some accumulating snow right now across Maine, and they'll get additional snow in Maine this upcoming weekend, and a little bit of snow starting to move into the Dakotas as we begin the day here on Thursday. And here is a big snow event coming for parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota later tomorrow, going into tomorrow night. And here comes that low pressure area out of the southeast, riding up to the north Andes, producing rain in much of the mid-Atlantic region. Again, late Friday night through the day on Saturday, snow across those interior northern part of New York State, interior New England, and again, this results in a significant snow event for much of Maine during the first half of the upcoming weekend. And look at all this heavy rain across the Delmarva Peninsula, New Jersey, into eastern Pennsylvania as well. Again, late Friday night through the day on Saturday. That kicks on out by the time we get to Sunday. Kind of a colder and windier day on Sunday on the backside of that low pressure area. And then we'll kind of quiet down in the eastern half of the nation early next week. This is going all the way out to Monday morning, and here comes another snowstorm for the northern plains. This is going to be a potential blizzard, the Dakotas, Minnesota, and here is that flow of air I mentioned. This is Monday morning coming out of the Gulf of Mexico right into the Mississippi Valley region. At the same time, colder air is pouring south and east from the north and west, and here is your battle zone region right here. Watch out for the possibility of some severe weather. We'll go out a little farther in time, and here we go. This is the area to watch potentially late Monday night into Tuesday. Mississippi Valley region. At the same time, there'll be a raging snowstorm across much of Minnesota and parts of the Dakotas as well, probably eastern part of North and South Dakota. But a blizzard up north, severe weather potential down to the south, Monday night time frame of next week. So that's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.